Hello, everyone. It's Attila here again, and as promised before, this is I'm bringing you another build video. This one's going to be my 9K striker build. Um, my last one was the 6K striker build that I had people asking me about. Well, lately, all I've been running now is 9K striker, and so of course now people are asking me about what do you run on your 9K striker build, and so I figured I'd show everyone. This is the build. This is actually has become probably my most favorite build now of 1.8. I actually run it way more than I run 6K anymore. The survivability on it is ridiculous, and that's literally all this patch is about. And so before I get into it, I just want to say that there's three main ways, or main types of ways that people are running this build. And that is that people are either specking into skill haste, or they're either specking into EDR, exotic damage resilience, or they're just going, the old-fashioned crit, which is what I have on my build, where you just try to get the most damage out of the build. I personally have tried all three, and the crit one for me still is my favorite. The 40% skill haste on the build is really nice. Getting your skills back fast is, yeah, it's nice, but you're already only at 4K firearms, and so it already, you've got that sustained damage, and I don't know. I feel like without the crit chance and the crit damage on everything, I just don't do enough damage, at least for my playstyle. I mean, plus the kind of the way that I did it in my head was, if you've got so much healing back from the 9K striker that, you don't really need the skill haste in my mind. I mean, I run this build all the time solo, and for the most part, I don't, unless I'm fighting Pred or something like that, I don't have too much trouble staying alive. Um, I mean, you get so much healing back from the 9K that it's like you can survive long enough to get your skills back, kind of regardless of what the cooldown is. If you play smart enough. And so, and the EDR, I really liked the EDR build as well. However, the EDR was really only you really only saw the full potential of the build when you fought Predator, and you're not fighting Predator all the time, obviously. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm not fighting Predator. Well, I'm not doing as much damage as I could be doing with the crit setup, and I'm not getting my skills back as fast either because I don't have skill haste on everything. I'm literally just preventing, minimizing CC on me, which I'm not even getting all the time. So I thought it was kind of too situational for me to run all the time, and so then I went with crit chance and crit damage on everything, and I just love this build more than anything. So anyway, enough of that said. Let's actually get into each piece. So on the striker chess piece is kind of one of those ones where, I mean, it's all personal preference, because this one you can roll whatever you want on it, and you're not really going to sacrifice other main stats on the rest of your gear. I went personally with EDR and health. You could go health and skill haste, but since I don't have EDR anywhere else, I mean, I wanted some EDR to mitigate pred. 11% is not going to do a whole lot, but it's going to definitely be better than having zero. Obviously, this roll for stam and ammo capacity, and I've got two stamina crit chance mods on this piece. Um, on the mask, once again, roll for stam, crit chance on the mask, and kind of wish this was disrupt or bleed, but that is what that is. On the knee pads, and the knee pads are my one piece that's roll for firearms. We've got health on the knee pads, disorient resist, shock resistance, and bleed resistance. Um, I kind of wish that this was maybe disrupt or burn, but it's still, these three aren't that bad. On the mask, we've got stamina crit chance as well. On the knee pads, we've got stamina crit chance again, first aid self heal. On the backpack, we've got stamina rolled again, with 9% crit damage and ammo capacity. Um, in the beginning, I kind of wish I had health right here, but then over time, having health on the knee pads and then having crit damage on the backpack is really not that bad. Because you're gonna get extra damage from that 9%, and then the health roll that you get on the knee pads is greater than what you would get on the backpack. So if you had to pick between the two, I'd rather have it on the knee pads. Once again, I've got stamina crit chance mod and first aid self heal mods. Now on the gloves, I've got stamina again, SMG damage, crit chance, and crit damage. I On this particular build, I run the house as my primary. So and I'm going for an all-out damage on this build, so I rolled SMG damage on there. On the holster, we've got crit chance, 1401 across the board, and first aid self heal mod. So it's pretty straightforward. This setup is similar to how you would set up pred. You can either go um, all pieces rolled for stam and all stamina mods and one piece rolled for firearms, and you'll basically come out with numbers similar to this. Or if you didn't want to do that, you could have all pieces rolled for stam and then all firearms mods on your gear, and you would have a little bit more stamina and a little bit less firearms. So that's kind of, however you want to play it. Now, as far as the house, I've got Unforgiving Deadly card counter on the house. Um, and then we've got an extended mag with magazine size, crit chance, rate of fire. A C79 scope for the crit damage is the main stat, headshot damage and crit chance. Then we've got a loud vent break with crit damage again as the main stat, crit chance and headshot damage. And then the underbarrel, of course, we've specking in mainly in to crit damage. And so, um, the majority of your damage is going to be done with the house in this build. I mean, since it natively comes with crit chance, that's why I run it as the primary. And then if you've got good talents on it, you're going to get extra damage from your talents. Like responsive or deadly or unforgiving. And then if you can time your fights correctly and try to always make sure that you always have card counter at the right time when you're doing your fights, then you get an extra 20% damage. On the Lova C, I'm running the same Lova that I was running on my 6K build, that has sustained predatory determined on it. This is again my utility weapon. I basically do all my damage and my fighting with the house, and then when I'm popping ults or my ult goes off, if I'm solo, because I can run this build in solo, or in a group. And so either way, I'll use this to get healing back. I'll use this to get my skills back, to get my signature back. And it works amazing and it's super fast. Same thing with double barrel sawed off. I've got predatory and determined on the sawed off. So I've got it on both. That's another reason why I kind of didn't go skill haste or something like that on this build, because it's like, if I've got predatory determined on my secondary and my sidearm, I mean, you don't need skill haste. I mean, every NPC or anything you kill with determined, I mean, you can get it back really quick. And so I don't know. I would rather go with more damage output and then utilize other ways of getting my skills back rather than sacrificing my main stats on my gear. And it works really well. I mean, it really does. I run with an immune and a booster shot. Run the booster shot over like a conceal pulse. Mainly because, I mean, most people aren't running pulse nowadays, and if they are, chances of them having any electronics whatsoever is very unlikely. So the pulse is not going to do a whole lot anyway. And I'd rather have this booster shot because then um, I'll get more toughness from when I pop it, and I'll get more damage. Running low firearms, this kind of gives you a little boost you're already starting out higher with it when you pop it with the striker stacks. Obviously immune, you need this is like a must now running in the DZ, just for the added heal from popping it and then running in and out of it, trying to counter pred because it's the only thing that can remotely counter pred besides popping a make kit. But either way, as far as talents, solo talents, crit save. Um, you pop a med kit, damage resistance is reduced by or is increased by 20% for 10 seconds. Strike back, reach low health to reduce active skill cooldowns by 20% on the move. Reduce incoming damage by 15% for 10 seconds. And precision, headshot a hostile to pulse them for 10 seconds. Um, Now so basically when you headshot someone with this, you're not running pulse. This will give you the base crit chance and crit damage of your base pulse, and so you get a little added damage from that as well. Now, literally the only thing that I change when I run in a group as opposed to solo is I literally just put on combat medic and take off precision. That's the only difference. Everything else stays the same. I may change a green to like a blue or something like that when I'm in a group, depending on what we're fighting against, what we're trying to do, whatever. But solo, obviously, I always run a green because that'll automatically go off. You're getting an extra life. So yeah, that is pretty much the 9K build summed up right there. My final stats are 344 firearms, firepower with the house. I'm at 623 toughness. This build is min-maxed pretty much. I mean, 1 point off armor. That's not worth 50 extra dip tech on a roll. I'm off like 9 armor on knee pads. I don't really think that's worth an extra 50 dip tech either. If you're the type of person that's got to have everything maxed out, then by all means, spend all your dip tech. I'm not one of those guys. This is close enough. And so, yeah, guys, this is by far like one of my favorite builds of this patch. And it is so versatile too. I mean, it's great for PvE, it's great for PvP, it's great for solo, it's great for running in a group. I mean, it's literally great for everything. Yeah, and so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, took some away from it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, then give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, thumbs down. If you guys enjoyed the video, want to see more, then subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do some more videos again, some more build videos at some point in the future. Um, you know, Based on kind of what people want to see when I'm streaming, will kind of dictate what I come out with next. So anyway, thanks guys. Until next time.